Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Hey, first and foremost, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, which you master rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 out there pushing and preaching this 100% doctrine, as well as you 1/3 men, women, and children maintaining yourself in this truth. All right, Shalawam to all you brothers, man, risking your life to do so. All right, this your brother Yarom Yakazak. Back with hopefully another edifying lesson. Okay, so what do you see on my screen is my it's a little bit, this is gonna be a little personal, man, you know what I'm saying, but it's definitely relatable to brothers and things that happen, man, in this world that are unexplainable. Okay, so this is my grandfather, right? And you know, major part of my life, son like a father towards me, you know, raised me and all of that. So he passed around September of last year, okay? And, you know, I dealt with it pretty well, you know, being in the truth at the time, understanding the scriptures and all that. So he in the spirit well, so good. You know, glad he wasn't in pain anymore. So, as lately, just giving some backstory, about to purchase a home, my first home ever. Purchasing a home, trying to get up out of, you know, the apartment, kind of poverty area, whatever, where I'm staying at. So, you know, and all through the graces, all through the mercy and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Okay, so, you know, brothers that know me personally know my story from going from, like, you know, not having a job to having a job to getting something solid and financially stable, able to protect my family and all that. You know, at the end of the day, it's all through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Money never changes us. Money should never change you. Money is a defense. But money does not matter, and it should not change or wither your faith, right? And it goes back to Ecclesiastes 2nd chapter. You will be tempted in this thing, so Yahawah will bring you low and bring you back up, or wherever he wants to bring you, you know, and that's all to him. So, going into this, last night we were signing the papers with the notary for the house, and guess who was there, right? And I posted this on the TikTok for brothers over there that know me. My granddad, I'm going to read it. My granddad showed up last night as I signed for my house, but he passed in September. We saw this today in the pictures we took. Now, my sister pointed it out. I didn't even see it last night because I didn't see this guy, okay? I didn't see nobody in there. We was in Chipotle, and we was meeting with the notary, etc., signing and doing all of that. And me and my wife was pretty aware, pretty alert. You know, was a lot of Issacharites, a couple Jake. We saw people come and go, etc., etc. And I never saw this guy walk in or leave or any of that. Okay? So, you know, going through this, all right, this is my boys, and this is him back here. Now, as you can see, man, very damn near identical, body type, okay? And my grandfather used to love to wear those type of fishing hats and things like that. He loved to fish, all right? You know, once again, head down, just chilling back there. And I didn't never notice this dude when I was here signing papers. Maybe it was the moment or whatever, happy. As you can see on my face, I'm smiling. Man, I'm getting my first house. Never had a house, never owned. You know, only thing I ain't own shit, you know. Just a country boy coming from nothing, man, really. So, but this is the one, this is the picture that my wife decides to send my mother, right? You know, just a little family picture, right? And this is the one where he's looking up. And she didn't realize she did that, you know, and I didn't either. So she sends her this picture, and he's looking up, and this is the only picture where he's looking up. All the other pictures, he's just looking down, right? And this is the only one. And my sister points it out that looks just like my granddad, man, you know. So that's a crazy moment. I'm trying to zoom in again. Oh, 1 second. Phone tripping. All right. So this is the only one, man. And go back to the close-up. It took me like, yo, you know. So I showed my uncles the picture, and they like, yeah, that's Dad. That's Dad right there. All right, he showed up. That was him. Okay, he showed up for the signing. And then when we was leaving for the signing, I looked. I was holding the door for the notary lady, and nobody was there, you know. And I'm looking, nobody was there. I'm remembering that night. Okay, it was last night. So, you know, it's not a blur or nothing. It just happened. So I looked in there because the lady was coming, then she forgot something at the table. So I'm holding the door and I'm like, okay, where's she at? But then I go back in and I look and I see she going back to the table. So then I scan the area, you know, I don't see nobody over there. Back there, nothing. And like I was saying, I was looking and never seen this dude. And I would have felt his presence, man, you know, behind me or whatever. So just somebody that looks damn near identical to my grandfather. He got the beard and everything. Okay? You know, that was a moment, man. All right? And I want to take it over to Barak because, you know, my mother called me, and she's a woman, like attached, very emotional, definitely, you know, but I'm going to read this just for my whole family right here, man. Barak 38. And for anybody that's dealing with loss, man, because, hey, even if you in this truth, loss is a hard thing to deal with. At the end of the day, man, brothers, you act all tough and hard, but then you lose somebody, you know, especially somebody you was close with, that was a major part of your life, you know, it can hurt, but just understand they in the spirit world, man, they good. All right, so don't linger on it too much. Now let's read this, Barak, in the Apocrypha 38:16-23. My child, let your tears flow for the dead. As one who is suffering terribly, give voice to your sorrow, lay out their bodies in accordance with their wishes, and don't neglect their burial. Okay? Let your crying be bitter and express your sorrow fervently, and make your mourning worthy of them. Mourn for 1 day or 2, so that there can be no criticism, and then be comforted from your grief. Too much grief can lead to death, and grief in one's heart will sap one's strength. All right? And it brought me back to a movie, a book we had to read when we was a kid. I think it's Where the Red Fern Grows, right? And it was like a boy Edomite child had these 2 hunting dogs, and you know they was hunting raccoons and all that. And one of the dogs eventually dies. I think it was the boy dog. He eventually died, and the female, it might have been either way. One of them perished, and the other one was sick in mourning. And that's an animal, you know, but dealing with the death so hard, and it basically unalived from that. Okay? This is the thing about being attached to people so hard and all of that. You know, it hurts and all of that, most definitely. But you can't let it weigh you down. Okay? Because too much grief can lead to death. And grief in one's heart will sap one's strength. All right? Living with a broken heart, living in pain, living in depression, all of that, right? You know, if brothers ever been dealing with a woman and she misuses you, you know, whatever, right? That's a feeling that you're going to feel if you felt something for that female, you know? These type of situations, man. The emotions. And we don't be effeminate in this thing. But you got to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for emotions, because to feel happy, to feel joy, to feel these aspects of life is a blessing, because that makes us feel great for the kingdom to come, you know? And we're going to feel joy. We're going to feel that when, you know, hopefully, Yahawah, we get them crowns. So those emotions that we feel is a blessing to feel those things. But also it can be a curse when things like death and breakups and things like that happen, man. So as a man, right, and maturity, you gotta contain your emotions and you know, to the best of your ability. Okay? Verse 19. Grief also lingers in misery, and the life of the poor is a curse upon the heart. Don't give your heart over to grief, your mind. Stay away from it, remembering your own end. Don't forget that there is no coming back. You won't do them any good, and you will hurt yourself. Remember their sentence, because it's yours also. Yesterday it was I, and today it's you. When the dead are at rest, put their memory to rest, and be comforted for them when their spirit has left. Okay, so, you know, in the memory of my grandfather, he wouldn't want us down here crying or nothing like that, man. All right, especially he's in the kingdom. He knows the truth now. All right, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, he knows he's a Hebrew Israelite, all right, and everything, and he knows what's about to happen, all right, up there in the spirit world. He's at rest. Okay, I'm gonna take it over to Book of Barak, same book, verse 22, 11 through 12. We mourn for the dead because they have no access to light. We ought to mourn for fools because they have no access to intelligence. This is in the Good News Translation. In fact, we should go into deeper mourning for fools because the life they lead is worse than death. The dead are at least at rest. For 7 days we mourn the dead, but a foolish or ungodly person causes a lifetime of grief. Okay? So understanding that people that are in the grave, they're at rest. Okay? Now they have to you have a time period to live out in the spirit world, right? And then you have to come back down here and serve your sentence for what you did in your past life. Okay? And that's a reincarnation, which the scriptures do speak of. Okay, and I'm not gonna go into it into this lesson, but that is a thing I spoke of in the scriptures. Now, what I believe happened last night was an angel in a form that I could recognize and my family could recognize, and a beacon of hope, a sign of hope, because he knew in that picture that I would recognize that to be my grandfather, man. You know, someone that was with me, majority of my younger years, 18 years until I went off into the Navy. He was there, you know, like a father, all right? Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Okay? So you never know. And we are, especially the elect, especially the remnant, everybody on this planet, man, we are being watched. We are being monitored. All right? So don't think that a report is not being made and that Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is not watching your every moment. Fear Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and know that he's checking on you. All right? Let me see. That's pretty much all I had, man. So I just wanted just to be a testimony of hope. And actually, matter of fact, I'll go get something in Genesis that I did prepare. Genesis 15 and verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. My grandfather was, I believe, 67. You know, I have to check, verify, 66 or 67. He lived a good age, man, to a good age. Okay? 70 is completion. You know, he lived a good age, seen a lot of stuff in his life, got to experience a lot of stuff, got to see his great, you know, got to see his great grandchildren, which is my daughter, right? So that's to see a fourth generation, you know, that's a blessing. And was a good man, man. you know, at the end of the day, you know, for the most part. Now, you know, none of us are good, but far as like try to seek Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and all of that, but, you know, calling on the wrong names, of course. And that's most of our grandparents. That's most of our, you know, some of our parents, etc., etc. Okay, caught up in that. But, hey, at the will of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, they'll come to the light and understand who we are. The true people of God, the chosen people. Okay, and that's neither here nor there. All right, it's up to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi to bring them into that. So don't be getting in no argument or nothing like that with your family members. All right, just lead by example and push this truth to the best of your ability. Okay, now your fathers are going in peace. They're going to be rested. They're going to be buried in a good old age. He got to do that, man. So that's a blessing. Okay, last scripture will be Genesis the 25th chapter, verse 8. Then Abraham gave up the ghost. And, oh yeah, so my granddad was holding on, man. And my Uncle Thomas was holding on to him, and he didn't want to let him go, you know. And I understand that, of course, man. It's your father. So once he did let him go, he left. He left. He went on. All right? He gave up the ghost, just as Abraham. Okay? And died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Okay? So that's what it's like. That's to have that, to get to say your last words, okay, to get to talk to everybody. It was a joyous, it's not a, I mean, hey, I told him my last things to say to him really was like, you know, man, you did a lot. And you made a good impact, and you taught me a lot, and you was like a father to me, etc., etc. And you know, it was a blessing that he was there to stand and show me what a man was in that sense, man. To hold it down and all of that, and everything he showed me, and everything that he showed everybody, man. You know. So brothers, don't depreciate your impact on this place, man. All right, these lessons and things that you putting out, the souls that you are touching and trying to save and trying to bring to this truth, that's a major impact, man. Regardless in any type of way, man. All right, you are reaching somebody. Okay, so understand that. All right, so once again, I believe this to be an angel. All right, appearing, showing up in the form of my grandfather, you know, and hey, brothers could say whatever about it, but I believe it to be that, showing up in a form that I recognize. All right. So with that being said, man, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS that rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us this truth. And Shalawam to you sincere Ahtham out there pushing and preaching this 100% doctrine, as well as you 1/3 men, women, and children. As always, Kwam Yasharahla, Ababa Shalawam, Shalawam.